Looks good, looks good. Ba, ba, ba. Keep that open. Yes. Dude, I have too many fucking Coke bottles. Oh shit, I've got like 4 empty Coke bottles here. Got enough water? Not really. Oh well. What's the lighting on this? Definitely look a little washed out. Webcam kind of sucks. Yo, what's up, Smelly? On time? Something like that. A little late, I guess. I guess technically I should be going live closer to 5, but... Yeah, I'm on time, actually. I'm always on time. Always on time. I know what you're talking about. You are correct. Yes, we are on time today. How you doing today? How's it going? How's it going? Oh, you said you did say what's up? Wait, did it not go through? Let me check. Oh, did YouTube delete it? That's weird. I didn't even get notified. Like it usually it like shows up. Oh, you said with the hard R. Okay, well yeah, let's. Yeah, I think it's gonna auto mute that. But usually it tells me, right? Just testing the boundaries. Usually it'll show me if something gets deleted. But that didn't even pop up. Oh wait, maybe can I show that? No? Weird. Anyway. Whatever. YouTube being YouTube. YouTube being YouTube. Anyway. Back in class. Nice. W. Learn how to weld. Like I said, I was supposed to learn how to weld, but my shit got disrupted by COVID. I never learned. Back in engineering school. So I only learned like the what was it? Like just general milling and lathe work, stuff like that. What do they call it? What was the class called? Yeah, well, I learned about like CNC and all of that. Yeah, wore you out? Yep. So we start off with some Candace. A little bit of candy. Back to Candyland. I saw Nick post about this on Telegram. I haven't looked at it yet. Now Candace is saying that Charlie Kirk knew he was going to die because he had access to ancient Sumerian technology that allowed him to see the future. Yeah, I guess it's just general machining, you know. Like, had a class on like how to use a lathe and a mill. CNC milling. Pretty cool class. But yeah, fortunately didn't get to the welding part. All right, let's see what Candace has to say.
CIA's project Looking Glass. Essentially, there were these whistleblowers, like I told you, in the military and within the CIA apparatus that came forward to reveal that the deep state had a technology, which they stole, of course. please do not miss the part that I keep explaining to you. These people are not smarter than you. They're just more evil. They steal, they plunder, and they steal things, and then they rewrite history and pretend that they were geniuses. Anyways, they have a knack for murder, they have a knack for theft, and
first of all, look, what a third world is added, like they plunder and steal, like, yeah, that's what, like what are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? They plunder and steal, and they plundered and they stole this ancient Sumerian technology as part of Project Looking Glass. They have remote viewing. It's like, dude. Like, do we even really engage with this? It's like, okay, so let me get this straight. The CIA has this advanced technology where they can see into the future. If they really, like, just... I know maybe the African... oh, maybe I should say something really racist. But, like, you know, I know, like, African ideology is all about, like, the future doesn't exist, you know, and the past doesn't exist. I know it might be difficult for Candace to, like, conceptualize the fact that people can, like, predict things. People have foresight. Maybe, like, just basic foresight, it must be some kind of, like, super ancient alien technology. The ability to make accurate predictions is just, like, ancient alien technology. Like she doesn't have the capacity to think a year in advance. Like, that's just a foreign concept. It's just... No, but, like, seriously, it's like... Dude, if the CIA had that, don't you think that, like, things would be going on? Like, that doesn't even make any fucking sense. So here's Candace. She's railing. She's an anti-establishment. She's the voice of the people. Don't you think they would have, like, killed her in the crib if they had access to this kind of technology? Like, what is, like, the first thing? If you're the CIA, what's, like, the first thing you're gonna do? Like, we're so evil and maniacal, and we have access to this, like, predictive technology. Who's gonna be our biggest enemy in the next 10 years? And the crystal ball says it's Candace Owens. She's this genius truth seeker. Don't you think they would have, like, I don't know, like, killed her, like, a decade ago or something? Don't you think they would have, like, smothered her career in the womb? But here she is getting 2 million views every night, talking about how, like, the government wants me silenced. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, that's just obviously not true. Like, dude. Hoping her stans realize she's crazy. Dude, if you're still a Candace stan, you are more retarded than Candace. I don't know what else to say, man. It's just like, people just believe in fucking anything.
And this time, just like a lot of times before, they stole a device from the ancient Sumerian civilization that's located in modern day Iraq. Very advanced civilization. They're obsessed also with Egyptian civilization, as we discussed yesterday. The Satanists kind of taking and reintroducing these things. First, they keep them to themselves, they hoard these things, and then they kind of give us certain aspects of technology as time goes on.
Prove it, bitch. Like, the thing about conspiracy theorists is they make all of these, like, really grand assertions, and, like, they never really engage in the details. They never really provide the proper receipts. Everything is working backwards to affirm this initial assertion. Everything, they rework everything to fit this narrative, and anything that happens in the future, somehow they contort it to their conspiracy worldview. Like, really, they progressively reintroduce new technology that they stole from ancient times. It's like, how do you even talk to somebody like this? Yeah, ancient civilizations had, like, flying saucers and computers. Nothing is new. It's just derivative. It's stolen. That the secret people, the evil secret people, are keeping from the public, and they're gradually. It's almost like, so. Technological advancement is just them gradually re-releasing tech that was already discovered. Like, what are you even, like, who is behind this exactly? Oh, this evil Satanist cult. Do you have names? Do you have like an actual network? Or are you just gonna keep giving like these vague, you're just gonna cast these, like the blame is just on this vague group that you can never really verify for yourself because it's all cloak and dagger, it's all secret society shit. Like, never specific names with these people. Just give some specific names. It's like, we dude, when you talk about one of the reasons why Jews are so effective is because they deal in the realm of specifics, names, specific people. They avoid these like general vague assertions and like when they actually get down to doing business, not when they're giving the rhetoric for the glory, but when they're actually like behind closed doors and they're talking about like who they're gonna back, who they like, who they don't like. They always talk about specific people. This sort of like, it's these Satanists, or it's like this, because like people might say the same thing like Nick does this. Oh, well, he's blaming all the Jews. First of all, he's not blaming all the Jews, but he names specific people. When he talks about Barry Weiss, Bill Ackman, the Teal Network, JD Vance, Tucker, like all these people, what their role is, how they're working together, what they're doing. There's a reason why they despise Nick and they think Nick is the greatest threat, because he's specific, and that's effective. So this whole like vague nonsense, it's just that. It's like, if you can provide receipts, like actual evidence, and not just like, well, obviously it's the Satanists, like that, like, and then people go, oh, it's obvious. Oh, she must be onto something. Enough. She could make the next COD campaign with this imaginary speed. Yeah, it's just, I really hope people are turning on her. 0707 Mellowbots, let's go. Did I send out a notification? I don't think so. Maybe. I don't send out notifications. It's like, if you have notifications on, you know, like that's, I don't think I can send, like, unless I like make a post or something. But yeah, anyway. 0707, everyone. Shalom. Shalom.
So they steal this piece of technology and they incorporate it into a computer.
Like, where is the evidence of this? Let's just go back to like first principles. Like, where is the actual evidence of this?
And suddenly they're apparently able to predict
Shana Tova.
future outcomes.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu.
Imagine the deep state being able to look into a glass, so to speak. The Sumerian culture was known for their advancement in glass, and to see different outcomes. I mean, the amount of power that you would have, and then also fathom in your mind that the people that are Satanists have.
This is just so fucking retarded. To see different outcomes, like predictive ability, like to make predictions, to like put some modicum of intelligent thought into something and then predict outcomes based on certain actions, certain events. Dude, that's like ancient technology. That's ancient advanced technology to Candace Owens, just having the ability to predict things. This is where we are. And when you think about like, okay, the government, the CIA, they've got access to a lot of resources. They've got access to some advanced AI algorithms. So they can like crunch numbers. They can do a lot of things that the layperson cannot. That's advanced alien technology. Like, just think about this for 2 seconds. This is like schizophrenic nonsense. I know this is like, I know we're like punching down. I know we shouldn't make fun of the retarded. I know that's maybe in bad taste, but dude, this is just like, who fucking takes this bitch seriously? Is Iran getting lit up or what? Well, they're putting out a bunch of advisories to U.S. personnel in Israel and around just in the area in general. I think in Qatar they put out some advisories. Israel is as well for their personnel. You know, the U.S. put out an advisory telling people to revise or review their travel plans in the region. You know, that's never really a good sign. It's hard to say. if the U.S. is going to do anything kinetic, it might be a situation where they're not going to talk about it. You know, it's on a need-to-know basis. If they're evacuating like U.S. civilians, they'll give general advisories, but they're not going to say, "Hey, we're about to bomb Iran," for obvious reasons, right? Because you want the element of surprise. Like Trump said this, take it with a grain of salt.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping. It's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or execution. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it.
So, not exactly the rhetoric that you would expect if they were about to go in. If they're about to go in, they'd probably be ratcheting it up. This bloodthirsty regime, they're killing thousands of people. We'll see. We'll see. Anything new on Rerum Novarum? Supposedly there are scrambling jets. So. The U.S. is moving the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group CVN 72 from the South China Sea to the CENTCOM area of responsibility. That is one of the limiting factors at the moment, is they have so much of our naval power is focused in Venezuela right now. Nick talked about this yesterday. It makes it difficult to project power in the Middle East. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they move this carrier group. We'll see. How many times do I have to point to the sign nothing ever happens? Well, until it happens. Until Venezuela, you know, that was something. But Nick is back, so it's back to nothing ever happens, right? Now that Nick is back, now that America First is back on, now that the nothing ever happens Chud awakens from his slumber. Delta Force is going to abduct Christian X of Denmark and Khamenei tonight. Yeah, you think so? You think so? The UK told its citizens not to go to Israel. Most countries are telling people to leave. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, damn it. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button. I got a shill. Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's hard to say exactly what's going on in Iran because they have this media blackout. Like Barry Weiss put out, or her publication put out that like 20,000 people are dead. That's probably not true. Of course, and then it's always a sign, like, of course you get like these turbo-Zionist Jewish accounts like Neil Berg. Look at how they're positioning themselves. He changes her flag to the flag of Iran because they want to signal solidarity with the Iranian people. That's not organic. They don't care about the Iranian people, but they say that they do. Oh, we are with the Iranian people to stand up against the evil, the evil theocracy, this evil Muslim theocracy that's oppressing the people. Never mind the fact that they have an ulterior motive, that they oppose the Iranian regime for geostrategic reasons. But, you know, when push comes to shove, they don't care about these people. The same way they don't care about, like, the Palestinians. So, yeah, you just put two and two together. It's very transparent what they're trying to do. Trump usually makes a move on Friday or Saturday nights when markets are closed. I'm not sold on this attack. I don't think it'll happen tonight. But if it doesn't happen tonight, I don't think it's... I'm not going to say it's not happening at all. You know, because right now, ostensibly, we don't have enough resources in the region. Oh, yeah. You know, I saw this today, too. Marco Rubio freezes all foreign visa processing indefinitely from 75 places. Yeah, that like sounds great and all, but like, you know, when you realize like something like 80 to 90% of H-1Bs, and they're more, H-1Bs are just part of the problem, but of like foreign work visas are coming from India, this is nothing. This is a drop in the bucket. Like, this is a symbolic gesture. Never mind India, China, and as Basil put, India, China, and the Philippines, but really mostly I would say India's number one. So. First it was 2K, then 12K, now 20K. Iran is saying it's more in the hundreds. If I had to guess, it's probably more like 1100. Even 1100 is a stretch. Yeah, it's hard to say for sure, of course, with this media blackout. Or internet blackout. You can't really trust the stuff you see on Twitter. And on the flip side of things, you can't really trust what the Iranian regime is putting out either. But I'm willing, I'm more willing to bet that whatever number the regime puts out is probably closer to the truth. Off topic, I cried when Nick brought up the pink Ohio first hat. Yeah, well, yeah, that was pretty touching. Don't cry though, don't cry. Very touching moment. We pray for the repose of her soul, Christine in Ohio. Truly the best of us. Yeah. So, you know, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But, you know, lift up your hearts. You know, we believe in a merciful, loving God. And, you know, we pray she's in heaven. And she's smiling down on the movement right now. How do you even deal with all the people that committed fraud? Probably millions who profited off of fraud, in your opinion. You can't lock up that many people, in your opinion. Well, you can, actually. You just have to make the facilities. You just have to actually, like, do it, you know? Like, yeah, it's a lot of people. But I think it's certainly possible. And it's kind of at that point where, look, a lot of these people are here on a pretense. So if you remove that pretense, like, people are here on, like, work visas, and a lot of that, like, their credentials are fake. All right, a lot from India, especially. And so if you just remove that, then you could just kick them out of the country. And then as you put them under scrutiny, right, as you like identify who's here on visas, who needs to go, you look into their history, you look for fraud, you'll find fraud, more than likely, and then you just prosecute them, and then you, like, take their shit. And you can either, like, pick your poison, deport them, or throw them into, like, a forced labor camp forever, you know, as a way to repay their debt to society. Pick your poison, you know? But the point is, it's like, yeah, there's immense amounts of fraud, and I've said this before, so I don't want to, you know, retread old ground, but it's like, I don't want to hear about Somalian fraud if you're not going to talk about Indian fraud, because it just totally dwarfs the Somalian fraud. And again, that's reflected in the fact that nothing is being done to curb any of this coming from India, or China for that matter, which I think is really dumb. Yeah, sure we can. Yeah, you have to believe we can do it, because we can. Look at what, like, believe in yourself. Believe in America. We have the power. We're the most sophisticated country in the world. We have the human capital. We just lack the will. So if you have, and frankly, it's not even like the will doesn't exist in the populace. It doesn't exist at in the regime, in the executive branch. The people want the deportations. You know, that the election was a referendum on that. The people want mass deportations. So we just need proper leadership. That's not going to be beholden to, like, what the New York Times says about it, or any of these liberals. That's a problem. Like, you will, to some extent, always have to worry about, like, optics and what. I'll say this: you will always have to worry to some degree what the New York Times says if you're always beholden to like elections. You know? Like we just need a very powerful executive branch that's going to do this. And as long as, and this is why it's such a big problem that all of these institutions are captured by our opposition. You know, as long as you're dependent on like elections and like public appeal in that way, then you will always be constrained to some capacity. And that's like the difficult part of navigating things, is you want things to be optical. You want your propagandists to go out and like spin things, to like paint things in a light that, in a favorable light for you. So it is very much an information and propaganda battle going on. But as long as like the GOP is like beholden, or like any party for that matter is beholden to different interests, you kind of see in practice what that looks like. Where the GOP, on the one hand, like they need to make these cheap appeals to their base for the vote. On the other hand, they're also dependent on the institutions, on their donor money, on like the corporate class that wants like the cheap labor. So they're sort of torn in that sense. And the same thing happens on the left, right? Like look at Mamdani. A lot of people thought he was just like radical left socialist. It's like, dude, he's not. He like, what is he's shilling for Zionism and Jews. And he's for all of their hostile exchanges, you know, what do they do? Like what does Trump do when he meets Mamdani? They're smiling, they're shaking hands. It's, oh, I like this guy. And so it's like, you know, these political creatures will do and say whatever they need to do to win elections, and to maintain power. And so it will be difficult. It will be difficult for like the GOP, for the Trump admin, to like carry forth mass deportations, knowing that like the New York Times is going to like rail on them for that. New York Times, corporate media is going to attack them relentlessly. But at the same time, it's like, again, they need the votes at the end of the day. You need the money to run the campaign, but you need the votes to actually win. So, if 10 million commit fraud and 30 million illegals, that's 40 million. You need cities to lock people up. I don't think so. Look, look, at some point, dude, maybe we do just need like straight up profiling. It's like, seriously, how well could an Indian person hide in the American population? You know, like not to be silly with it, but it's like, if you just go around and you're like brown person detected, where are your papers? It's like, yeah, you're probably going to find a not insignificant number of people that you could deport. You know what I mean? I know that's not like a popular thing to say. I know that's like not, and like that's not something that's gonna win like optics points, but it's true. If somebody says, "No, sir, I am an American," what you're like, yeah, you know, okay, you should probably investigate that person. It's like, seriously, like they're not like fucking Ezio. Like you can't just like blend in with the crowd. You can't press X and blend in and hide from the guards. You know, like yeah, I don't know where the Indian went. It's like, come on now. Come on. It's like, have you forgotten that we're racist? Have you forgotten that? You know? So, no, it's like, you just need to, you just actually need to do it. And you need to be quick about it. You know, if you amass a force of like, like, let's just throw a number out there. 100,000 ICE agents. And you go into major cities and you just profile people. Then, and also, look, if you make it really difficult, you have to attack this from multiple angles. A lot of people need to be deported, but at the same time, you also need to go after the employers. If you like fine or prosecute employers that knowingly hire illegal immigrants, if you increase like the requirements to hire an employee, just basic signs of U.S. citizenship, and you cancel all the visas, like how are people literally going to live here? How could like a foreigner like that is either illegal or a person on a visa, how are they going to live in a country where they can't find employment? And if we cut off benefits, How are they going to live here? And what is the point of them even being here if they can't make a living? So you need to attack this from multiple angles. The part of the problem is that they're getting benefits from the government. They're committing this fraud. Nobody's checking in on it. And like, if you do basic amounts of research, if you hold up any kind of, standard, do any amount of due diligence, you'll find these people are committing fraud. But again, if you just remove the visas wholesale, if you just look for people that, if you look for their like birth certificate, their like actual credentials, and you can't find any, get them the fuck out of here. It's not hard. And if you impose that on employers as well, otherwise they'll be sued into bankruptcy, then you bet your ass they're going to stop hiring illegal or foreign labor. Because it's no longer, the profit incentive is no longer there. You just need, so you have to remove the profit incentive. And then how are these people going to find jobs? And if they can't find jobs, how are they going to survive in America? So many of them will just self-deport. You have to attack it from multiple angles. That's how we solve this problem. It's not just go door to door. Like, yeah, that needs to happen, because you need to attack, you need to be as quick as possible with this, because the longer they stay here, the harder it'll be to uproot them. But you do have to make it economically infeasible for these people. Anyway. To Alaska, more like the center of the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, do something with them, but they cannot be allowed to walk freely, these people that are scamming our country. And look, I don't blanketly hate like people on visas. I have friends with visa workers. Many of them are great people. But it is what it is, they gotta go back. It's ultimately the American people are incurring the cost of this cheap labor. Trust me, there are great people, I know. Some of them probably should be American. I've got one friend, he's Italian Catholic, loves America, here on a visa, very conservative, very Catholic. I'm like, you know what? Somebody like that probably could make a strong case to become American. And he's like Aryan Italian, he's like 6 foot, he looked like a Chad, 6 foot like 3, 6'5" or whatever, athletic, blonde hair, blue eyes. Like, okay, maybe immigrants from, that part of the world we can accept more of, but, he's not the problem. Somebody like him that's like honest Abe, clearly a net positive is not the ones we need to worry about. So we could make exceptions, is what I'm trying to say. But we can't let the exceptions be the rule. What's up, Hawker? How's it going? My own morality is the only thing that can stop. Zoran is shilling for Jews now. What happened? Well, he always was. If you paid attention, like, he was supporting a lot of different Jewish groups. He played into some of the like anti-Zionist rhetoric, but there were Jewish groups that were backing his campaign. It was fake, as is a lot of things. So he said the right things to get elected, and it's just like, people bought it. Like, look, left-wingers get rug pulled all the time too. It's not just the right that gets rug pulled, So yeah, he was always a show. As long as they wear a Hugo Boss and drink milk, I'll show my papers and point out the face. Yeah, that's a good reference. That's a good reference, yeah. You are sheltering enemies of the state, no? They're hiding under your floorboards, are they not? Yeah. You need more than 100K. I'm just throwing out numbers. Well, 6 million? You think 6 million agents will do it? Fuck it, why not? 6 gorillion. Yeah. Yeah, 250 to 500K per major city. Enact martial law and go door to door. The government has all the information and banks need to give statements. I'd go as far as say bring the military in. For a city like New York City, you need 2 million agents. Sure. Ultimately, that is fine. Sure, 2 million, whatever the number is. We can find the numbers. We can find the people willing to suit up, for the country. Whether it's 271,000 or it's 6 million or 6 gorillion. The numbers, we have them. You know what I mean? So, there's that number again. Anyway. So, you have to believe. You have to believe we can do it, you know? Because we can. We totally can. We can totally do it. We have it within our capacity. We're America, damn it. We own the finish line. Look at how we just yoinked the president of another country. He talks shit, you know? He was on Discord talking shit. He was fucking emoting on. He was Fortnite emoting on us. You're not gonna do shit. You're not gonna do shit. What did we do? We came in the middle of the night and we just like put a sack over his head and yoinked him. In like the most secure bunker in his entire country. In like 30 minutes. We fucking sped run that. Total speed run. So that's what we can do when we get serious. When we get serious, look at what, like, nothing is beyond us. So what is deporting a few tens of millions of people that shouldn't be here? Totally doable. Totally fucking doable. So. You can clean this up in 1 month if you put resources together. I like that spirit. I like that spirit. 1 month, fuck it, 2 weeks, right? We can do it. We can do it. Let's not negotiate with ourselves. You know, let's not try to rationalize our way out of this, telling ourselves it's unrealistic to do this, that, or the other. It's like, look at what we can do when we get fucking serious, man. Look at what we can do. That's why, to me, like, the Venezuelan, what do you want, the interdiction, the Venezuelan intervention was so white-pilling, in a sense, because it's like, yeah, that's who we are, actually. That's who we fucking are. Like, you look at the Delta Force, that's what white men are capable of. That's what white men, when they get down to their shit, that's what they're capable of, man. Don't see a lot of DEI there. So. Got swatted in real time. Yeah, real. He was live on Twitch talking shit. He was live on Twitch. America sucks. His door gets fucking kicked down by a team of anonymous white guys in full kit, and he just gets bagged in real time. Amazing, right? Fucking amazing. We gave his wife a black eye. I like to think in my head canon that was like totally unnecessary. Like she was just going along with it, and just the fucking like pissed off D-boy just went, bah, bitch. I just like to think that was just like for good measure. Like it was just like totally unnecessary to like just bop her in the fucking face like that. My headcanon, we just did that like for no reason. We just did that to send a message, you know? She probably got mouthy in that mini fridge. Yeah. In that mini fridge way. Yeah, probably. Why are these handcuffs so tight? Shut up, bitch! Bah! You know? No, don't take my mijo. No. Bah, bitch! How you like a black eye? Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it definitely happened. I don't even care. I don't even care if I refuse to believe otherwise. Yeah. Called rendition. Yeah. So that was pretty awesome. So my point is, like, we can do it. They know we want it. They know that they can do it if they really wanted to. And that's what maybe makes this the most frustrating, is they know what the people want. They know what the base wants. Otherwise, they wouldn't be putting out these, like, edits, these, like, based edits of, like, ICE deporting people. They wouldn't make such a spectacle about it if they knew it wouldn't have any kind of effect. So that's why they're doing all this. They're making as optical as possible. Because they want people to buy into it. They want people to believe more is actually being done. It's just propaganda. When the number is like less than 1 million a year, and that's just not enough. We need to 10x that, 20x, 100x that. Fuck it, dude. Maybe we should. Nah, I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say, like, maybe we should deport like American citizens that shouldn't be here. You know? You know what I mean? Maybe Jasmine Crockett needs to be supported as well. Fuck it, why stop, right? Anyway. Yeah, those are rookie numbers. Six gorillion. 6 gorillion is the real number that needs to be achieved. It's just never ending. Like, I refresh, and then we see our favorite congressman, Shri Thandahar. Guy can't even fucking speak English. Look what it says. Scott Adams, a tortured and struggling cartoonist, has passed away reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with Shri derangement syndrome. Am I doing this right, Maga, or is it only okay when Trump does it? Bro, put this guy in a fucking box. Put this guy in a box that is too small for his body and ship him back to where he fucking came from. He can't even speak English. He cannot even speak English. You know, yeah. W. Tony Rigatoni. Yeah. It's like Goku, you know he can go Super Saiyan, but chooses not to. Yeah. You're watching, except Goku's a good guy, you know? It's just like, he abstains because, you know, he's such a nice guy. But anyway. Didn't he have Trump derangement syndrome? What, Scott Adams? I don't know. I guess here, I don't think so. And he said, you know, look, best advice what I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people.
And I would say, you know, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this. This can't be fixed. Right? This can't be fixed. You just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, you know, I have a very low black population. Because unfortunately, there's a high correlation between the density. And this is according to Don Lemon, by the way.
What people also need to understand, because I know people are going to say, like, look, I guess this bears repeating. Obviously, there are exceptions. That doesn't mean you can't be friends with black people. This is like a general statement about populations, you know, about people you don't know. It's one thing if you have like a childhood best friend that happens to be black. I feel like this doesn't need to be said, or I think everyone understands this, like what Scott Adams is saying here. But people will pretend like they don't know to like, you know, in the pursuit of their own argument, they will purposely be obtuse and pretend like they don't know what Scott Adams is talking about. They'll say, oh, so like all black people are bad and evil. It's like, that's not what he's saying. Okay? That's not what he's saying, clearly. That's like one of the most frustrating things about like the way liberals tend to argue is they'll just pretend like they don't know how things work. You know, they'll just pretend like they'll deliberately misinterpret people's arguments, or they'll rely on straw mans. They never steel man their opponent's arguments. It's always straw man. So what you're saying is all black people are evil. That's what you're saying. It's like, no, that's not what Scott Adams is saying. But
so here I'm just quoting Don Lemon when he notes that when he lived in a mostly black neighborhood,
like Bill Maher does, pick your poison for any of these like liberal influencers or talk show hosts. So what you're saying is, here's Scott Adams saying all black people are stinky, some shit like that, you know? It's like, dude, that's not what he's saying, man. Clearly. That's how you know these people are dishonest, you know, these snakes. And a lot of these people that champion diversity don't live in diverse neighborhoods, of course. That's like exclusive to like the like boy cattle, like the true defenders of the ideology of this of the regime's ideology. Those people are truly mind raped. Like that one guy that tried to walk up to that clearly mentally ill black person. I think it was in Portland a couple of years ago, and got stabbed to death while his girlfriend watched. And his girlfriend ended up starting a GoFundMe for like psychological. You believe that shit? My boyfriend got stabbed to death right in front of me. I need money, please. How can I make this about me? Like, dude. Yeah, here's your base trad wife, Anon. This is what you have to look forward to. So he made such an effort to prove he's not racist that he walked headlong into obvious danger. The guy was like deranged. He was like yelling at nothing. One of those guys, you know? And rather than like acknowledge the clear and present signs of imminent danger, this guy ignored all of the warning signs, could not make it more clear, and just allowed himself to get fucking stabbed to death in public, in cold blood. So it's like, yeah, those people, like these like victims, these mind raped cattle, they're the ones that live in diversity, and they're the ones that are being like duped into thinking that it's okay, you know? They're the ones that have to walk into the fucking trenches and the battle lines, and they convince themselves that it's not actually the way that it is. But people like Bill Maher, people like Jimmy Kimmel, no, they live in their gated communities. You know, they don't have to deal with the riffraff. So, yeah. Why does it always ask me if I'm still... Yes, I'm still watching. Stop asking me, dude. Gabagool. The guy's face looks so weird. Yeah, I mean, he's like just this like, yeah, Sri Thandahar. Hard to believe that that's a real guy. Got him converted on his deathbed. What did he convert to? I don't know that. I heard he became Christian, but I don't know all the details. Moved to Marion County. Scott Adams divorced his wife, who he was wife his whole life, to get with an IG 304, only to find when he is in his deathbed, 304 is nowhere to be found, and ex-wife is by him and his daughter. Never turn on your family like Wag he did, or the way he did. Is that what happened? I don't know. But yeah, don't follow 304s. People make mistakes. Like Bill Maher. Yeah.
There were a bunch of problems that he didn't see in white neighborhoods. So even Don Lemon sees a big difference in your own quality of living based on where you live and who's there. So I think it makes no sense whatsoever as a white citizen of America to try to help black citizens anymore. It doesn't make sense. It's no longer a rational impulse. And so I'm gonna back off from being helpful to black America, because it doesn't seem like it pays off. Like, I've been doing it all my life, and the only outcome is I get called a racist. That's the only outcome. It makes no sense to help black Americans if you're white. It's over. Don't even think it's worth trying. Totally not trying.
Yeah, man. As long as there remains this like racial animosity towards white people, it's like, this is kind of just the expected outcome, don't you think? If black people keep saying how much they hate white people, how evil and racist white people are, it's like, well, why would white people want to live with people that feel such a way about them? And that only pisses black people off more. It's like, dude, okay, like self-awareness. So, see Ben Davidson from the Suspicious Observers go full Wang Have? No, I didn't. I don't even know who that is. But yeah, this is Sri Thandahar. Like, dude, you are not American. It's really fucked up. It's really fucked up that literal foreigners are able to be elected into Congress or have any position of power. That's like, that should never be fucking allowed. No serious country would allow that. But here we are, being ruled over by foreigners, whether it's New York City, whether it's Michigan. And people are too afraid. A lot of people that would do something about it are too afraid to be to do anything because they don't want to be called racist. Dude, fucking, dude. So for context, Nick is not allowed to have, that's crazy. No, that's crazy. Nick is not allowed to have a check mark on, or maybe he does have a check, but he doesn't have a deal on Rumble. Despite being like number 2, I think, after Alex Jones on the platform, pulling in tens of thousands of live viewers every night throughout 2025, and he still has no deal, no official deal with Rumble. And, you know, pun intended, like that is a big deal to have. That the platform you're streaming on gives you some kind of deal. They pay you, maybe they give you a deeper cut of any kind of ad revenue. Maybe they even run ads on your channel in the first place, give you subscriptions, stuff like that. Whatever Rumble has to offer, they're not giving Nick a proper deal in any of that. Well, here's one of the guys over at Louder with Crowder, and I guess he's just defending Chris Pavlovsky. Here's what I know at Rumble Video is the reason we have a place to stream, that Nick has a place to stream, and that Alex Jones has a place to stream. Chris Pavlovsky went all in on free speech, and thank God he did. We don't have the wins we have without it. Nothing is perfect, so you might be pissed for a minute about a contract offer here, a glitch there, that's fine, it's business. Just make sure we don't forget that without their platform, we don't have a place to reach our audience and grow them. Without Chris having brass balls, Rumble bends the knee and becomes just like YouTube, banning and demonetizing creators like us. The world isn't, that isn't a world we want. Don't forget how truly bad it was before Rumble. Look, man, that's like the equivalent of saying, well, I'll pay you for your work with exposure. You should be thankful for this opportunity. It's like, dude, here's the thing. Okay, it's business. If it's business, then Nick has options. Nick can stream on Kick. He even mentioned, you know, he shouted out Aiden Ross. He's like, Aiden, hook me up with a deal on Kick. And that's like really like, look, if that is true, if Chris Pavlovsky truly is just like a defender of free speech, is down with the mission, shouldn't he support Nick then? Just on principle at that point? Or he's just gonna like continue to like try to take advantage of Nick being so banned and censored, not really give him what he's worth. Like that's not good for business. That's not the most honest way to go about things. So look, if I'm Nick, I would not be married to Rumble at all at this point. He's bigger than Rumble. So it's just business, right? If it's just business, then look, leverage your position as a top content creator to get a deal somewhere, whether it's Kick or it's Rumble. You know, he brings a lot of attention, a lot of eyeballs. And if Rumble loses Nick, you know how many people only go to Rumble for Nick? Like, seriously. Like, does any, like, let's ask you guys, do you guys watch anything else other than Nick regularly on Rumble? Like, seriously. Like, I can't think of really anything. Rumble is just second rate. True. Rumble only exists because there's censorship on YouTube. Let's not get it fucking twisted. That's the only reason why Rumble even exists in the first place. So the fact that there's censorship, like that is their business model. The business model is we take in these banned content creators and give them a platform to stream on. Because they know the alternatives are very limited. So, but now that Nick has options, look, it's just business. You can stream on Kick and bring more eyeballs to Kick, and he can join the Aiden Ross clavicular, network. Andrew Tate tried hyping Rumble. Yeah, so did Sneeko. They all did. So, at the point where, but they got deals at least. Is Nick getting a deal? I want to see Nick beat Bongino on Rumble. Yeah, that got too. Bongino's such a fucking clown. Ben Davidson has a YouTube channel that follows solar activity and space news. He's been doing it for a long time. He streamed yesterday wearing a Wang Half shirt, having merch. Oh, W. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. Nick has to become more kosher. That's why he has a Jewish friend. That's why he has a Jewish friend. Yeah, they post on YouTube too. Used to watch Hard Bastard on Rumble, but not as recent. I don't know who that is. The only reason Rumble exists. I used to watch Sasquatch channel. Sasquatch channel. Sounds like good content. What about Gab? The fuck is Gab? That's my response to that. What's up, Grow Up Here? How's it going? How's it going, homie? Yes, dude. When was the last... Dude. Who... Gab. Gab. Can we be serious for... Gab. Can we be serious for a second? Every time I listen to Candace Owens, she's doing another ad read. Is she? Did she just do her show for like an hour? What's her show about this time? Oh, right. Like, honestly. Honestly, bro. Ancient Sumerian technology that the CIA just stole because they're not actually very smart. They just steal and pillage. What a fucking retard, dude. Yeah, Ray Valentina is our new Black Queen. Hail Ray Valentina as our new base Black Queen. Every time, oh yeah, I read that. George Farmer manages her channels. Something's going on there, man. I don't know. I want to know where she's getting these little info drops. Who's giving her these tips? Because, dude, the ancient civilization shit. Dude, Black people love that stuff. They love it. They're drawn to it. And it's like, look. I don't even really know what else to say that I haven't already said. Do I ever listen to Adam Green? No. That guy is just an A-log. I don't listen to Adam Green. Adam Greenberg. George first found Candace on the talent website and has been paying her since. You think so? The job... Oh, we could talk about the job market. The job market's worse than... People are literally, like, so desperate. People with, like, even degrees, they'll take anything. Because they don't want to fucking go homeless. It, like, amidst all of the news that's happening right now, like, there was very much a recession going on. The job market is so fucking cooked. It is more cooked than people are reporting on. Well, everybody is talking about... And look, corporate media doesn't want to talk about this either. But while everyone's talking about all this other stuff going on, it's like... You see, like, constant posts like this. How was everyone surviving? Recently unemployed, applied to 4,300 jobs and nothing. Construction, nothing. General labor, anything, nothing. Tim Horton / HomeSense / mall security. got told they already hired even though the job was still up. It ended up going to a relative of the person interviewing me. Heck, even janitor, nothing. Heck, tried Uber, apparently my area is saturated. That's crazy. And look, I'm sure some of these posts are going to be like, sometimes people are faking posts or whatever, but I'm seeing more and more and more people talking about this colloquially. It is really bad. It is really, really, really bad. And you combine that with like fake job postings, like there's so many compounding factors to this. A lot of companies will like post fake job listings. They have no intention of hiring people because you have to make some demonstration that you're looking for American talent before you apply for stuff like H-1Bs. And then they'll apply to like specific newspapers or postings for H-1B talent. Sometimes they'll post their real listings in very obscure places that people don't check. So it's like increasingly a lot of the jobs that you're seeing, they're either like not real or they have no intention of hiring or even hiring an American. Then you combine that with like the incompetence of like the HR departments, the AI algorithms that look for specific buzzwords. And if your resume doesn't have that, it's like an auto reject. There's like so many problems right now. I feel like a lot of this is really flying under the radar. So look, if you have a job right now, like be thankful because it's really fucked right now. Do you think conservatives lack creativity? Some of the products and ideas are terrible and cringeworthy. Oh, absolutely. Like a lot of these conservatards are just like, let's make a product. How about like soap but based? Oh, okay. What how about like music, but it's like based and it's not woke. It's yeah, like I would argue that conservatives are less imaginative than liberals in many ways. Like so many conservatives are just like trying so hard to like be countercultural, you know? They want to fit a specific niche. They want to fit like because a lot of them are just grifters and they just want to appeal to like lowest common denominator conservatives. Like Black Rifle Coffee Company or like you know, pretty much anything that attached themselves to like Trump or MAGA. They're just opportunists, a lot of them. Yeah. I would join ICE if I didn't have a job. Soap? Yeah, like soap. Yeah, dude, it is like even with like ICE, it's just like they're not even really being like fully utilized, you know? I mean, look, it's a job. But it's just like, yeah, like I don't know if you should take any job, you know? I don't know if you should join like the infantry or something, knowing where you might be sent. You might have a hard time reconciling that in your brain, but I heard that this Somalian illegals were doing great in Minnesota. Well, part of the problem is a lot of them are illegal. You know, that's a lot of them are simply allowed to do this. I'll give credit, the BAP sphere is a lot more artistic than the conservatives. Well, I mean, at least like the thing about BAP is like a lot of them, like a lot of them are not genuine actors. Like they are making appeals to aestheticism, you know, the Greek profile pictures and all that. But that's by design. Like they are red herring for the dissident right. But it's all like what is that space like all about? It's about like being as aesthetic as possible, eating a raw meat diet and sunning your balls and stuff. But you look at like their thought leader and it's just like 50-year-old fat short Romanian Jew, you know? So it's like, okay, it's all a facade. Once you realize it's all a facade designed to trick like gullible goy into supporting like what they think is like super based right-wing politics, but it is just to convince them to like shill for Jews in some way, shape, or form. The most right thing you can do is to support Israel because they're killing all these retarded third world subhuman browns in the Middle East. That's the game that they're playing. But they also hate you, and they're not who they say they are. It's Nietzschean. It's like, okay, no, well, it's also like, it's just retarded. That's what it is. Black Rifle Coffee Company is fraud. I heard Ukraine needs mercenaries. Actually, they shut down their Foreign Legion. So, might actually be harder to get a job in Ukraine. So. Look what Pineapple quote tweeted 3 hours ago. Pineapple? Who's Pineapple? Here, just tell me. I don't actually want to look that shit up. So. Anyway. Any new developments? The president has told his advisors he would want any action to deliver a decisive blow to the Iranian regime, but so far he hasn't gotten that guarantee from them. Trump's advisors have so far not been able to guarantee to him that the regime would quickly collapse after an American military strike. The U.S. official and two people familiar with the discussion said, and there is concern that the U.S. may not have all the assets in the region. It would need to guard against what administration officials expect would be an aggressive Iranian response. And this again goes with what Nick was saying yesterday. You know, it's almost like an America First agenda, focusing on our region, our sphere of influence. Is America First also because it prevents us from doing shit in Iran? Because we don't have the carrier group over there. So they want to pull Abraham Lincoln over here. But with two carrier groups in our own backyard, and of course they're also worried about China, there's opportunity costs. You know, our military can't be everywhere at the same time. So maybe we should take Cuba. Maybe we should do a decapitation strike in Cuba. That means that we can't interfere with Iran. And so that is like a very real logistics reality. You actually need to be in the area if you're gonna conduct a military strike. Obviously. Oh, Pine Sap. Gotcha. I'm muted? Am I muted? Am I muted? Hello? They are sending the USS Gerald Ford to Greenland. It's going to head off the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the Charles de Gaulle. Am I muted? What the fuck? Wait. What? What's going on? Are you guys fucking with me, or am I actually muted? Dude, please don't tell me I'm actually muted. Okay, well, stop. Dude, please don't fuck with me on technical shit. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Like, that's like the one thing I ask you guys, please don't fuck with, because like, I'm looking, I see that my audio is spiking when I'm talking, so it would have to be something deeper than like OBS or anything like that. Fuck you guys, okay. Damn it. Thanks. Thanks for gaslighting me. There's like no way for me to like verify other than like I open up a new tab and... Alright, fuck you. All right, very funny. Okay, you got me. You got me. Fell for it again award, I guess. Whatever. Whatever, dude. Fucking whatever, man. What was I even saying? What was I... Dude. Why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? Why am I here? Just to suffer? This is cheap now that we have Maduro. That's pretty keck. Yeah, well... Nah, the real benefit was the signal, the message that it sent. Not to fuck with us, and that this is our sphere of influence. That's the real benefit. The oil is a plus, but it's going to take a while to realize that. You know, get the full... And I think the most immediate leverage of that is to put pressure on Canada and Mexico as well. That's where we get a lot of our sour crude oil from. So now that we have a new, ostensibly, a new supply of that. But again, nothing has changed with the regime in Venezuela just yet. Like, yeah, we had the decapitation strike, but no further changes to the Venezuelan government, as far as I can tell, have been made. So I do think it's about sending the message more than the resources. Fuck, what was I gonna say before thanks for like totally derailing me with that shit. Yeah, you threw me off my game. I don't. Yeah, who cares now? Who cares? Whatever, dude. Yeah, they're gonna invade Iran. Who knows? Whatever. Trump flipped somebody off yesterday. I saw that. That was pretty keck. What do you think of James Fishback? He wants to tax OnlyFans 304s 50%. I still don't really trust him. Yeah, that's pretty funny. He says some funny things. You know, when he went to his opponent Byron, right? What's Byron? Is it Byron Donalds? And said he wants to turn Florida into Section 8 housing. That was pretty funny. The 50% tax. What did he call it? What was the name of the tax? The 50% like morality tax or something on OF whores. Like, yeah, that's a W. That's W rhetoric, but you know, again, I don't like his background with him glazing Barry Weiss and Bill Ackman. I do look at him with suspicion still. I'd love to be proven wrong. I want him to be a legitimate candidate, a genuine actor. But I do not trust this. I do not trust him. I'm very suspicious of him. And still, Nick has not given an official endorsement or like an official disavowal either. You know, he said some funny, he acknowledged there's some things he likes about Fishback, but no official endorsement. Because the thing about Nick, whenever he gives his endorsement, particularly like to certain candidates, you have to believe that he's doing so with a greater level of information than we're privy to. Because he has this network, the GIA, right, the Groyper Intelligence Agency, it's fair to assume that he probably knows people that are, or would know people that are affiliated with any kind of candidate in some way, shape, or form that can give him some inside baseball. And so that to me is one of the reasons that beyond him being the thought leader of America First and the, all of that, one of the reasons why I weigh his opinion very heavily when it comes to these kinds of endorsements, especially because he's got the inside scoop that, most outsiders, lay people wouldn't have. So if he gives the endorsement, then I'll support Fishback. I mean, obviously I don't live in Florida, but that's sort of like the all clear, but I still have my reservations. And even if he does get the endorsement, it's not like that somehow wipes his slate clean. Because yeah, there are things about him I think that are fishy, like this capital investment firm, some of the rumors surrounding his history there, and his financial records too, his previous endorsements, I think now is the time we're going to see a lot of people who were like total ops that suddenly at some recent point in time just changed their minds and became based. And I had a revelation. I realized I was wrong and I'm actually based. We saw this happen all the time. I remember this, like, and it's not like America First would be the first one, the first movement that experienced this. This happened throughout MAGA. And before that, this happened in the Tea Party. I remember, like, in Illinois, there was one person running. What was it for? It was for governor, actually. And, you know, he was like a lifelong Democrat that within the last, like, 4 years or so had a sudden change of heart. He like voted for Obama twice, I think, if I remember correctly. And he used that as like a talking point of like how, man, I was so wrong. I voted for Obama and look at me now. I realized like, and it's like somebody asked him like, hey, did you vote for Trump in, what was this? This was in, what year was this actually? I think it was before COVID. It's like, did you vote for Trump in 2016? And he didn't. So somewhere between Trump winning the election, becoming president, and MAGA being like a winning ticket, he decided to flip-flop. And now he's like this, he's going to ride on the coattails of Trump to try and win this gubernatorial election. It's like, I don't think so, man. So I remember there was like one patriot that called him out and asked him about that. Like, that's a good question, man. Like, you know, your track record does count. So this idea that like, I'm just like, we need to be very cautious. And I'm not saying you can't change your mind on things. Of course you can. There are a lot of people that hated Nick that came around. But it is just like, it is a red flag. It's definitely a red flag. And I think first and foremost, it's the diehard loyalists that should be promoted first. And other people can get in line. Because that's like kind of the problem that Trump faced. He didn't promote and he didn't support his diehard loyalists. He got a bunch of people that flip-flopped. And maybe some people did genuinely have an honest change of heart, but a lot of people didn't. And they're just opportunists because they wanted like his endorsement. They wanted a spot in his administration. And so they kissed the ring. It's like, those are the people you got to be careful of. And you need to be careful not to give them a position where they can screw you over. They can stab you in the back. So I'd love to be wrong about Fishback. Seriously, I would love to believe that we could get a true America First patriot as governor of Florida. But I've seen this play out before. I think a lot of people are too quick to jump on the Fishback train. So again, I would love to be wrong on that. I would love to be a fishbacker or whatever, a fisherman of sorts. But I'm just very skeptical. The Danish foreign minister said that Trump wants to conquer Greenland. He said that at least twice. He kind of ran to his limo. It was funny. Yeah, we should have Greenland. We should. Greenland should be ours. What is Denmark going to do with Greenland? Seriously. Why don't we buy Denmark too while we're at it? America should own the world. But first we need to own our backyard. So. I don't trust black conservatives. No, I mean, they're good, you know, obviously there's some good black conservatives. They're good, you know, black AFers, you know? I was gonna say Wang half, but that doesn't make any sense. They're like Nang halves, you know? You know, like, I mean, Tenrio. But, you know, even Tenrio says you shouldn't trust black people. Look, well, I guess that kind of just disproves my point. But no, I mean, they're obviously good black conservatives out there. It's just a lot of them are just astroturfed. And when I say conservative, I really mean right-wingers, not so much conservatives. There's a difference. But look, you look at Tenrio, you look at John Miller, you look at like, I'm blanking on, or even like the Hodge twins, I think are funny. I think there are a lot of black guys that have demonstrated their loyalty. The problem is, I do think that, you know, there is not the best sample size, because look at how conservative Inc. rolls out the red carpet for any kind of like minority speaker. And so you do kind of get the jesters, you know, these like black guys that are just unprincipled and are just like, you know, you get people like what's that guy's name? I totally forgot. Like so many of these people. Like that guy on the Blaze that had a beef with Nick. What's his name? Fuck. The like ex NFL star. What was the name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Well, anyway. Yeah, you just have to use discernment. That's like really the whole thing. Like, just use discernment. Look for good signs of character, you know? Not to be that guy, but like I know stand-up black guys that, like my best friend, that I would trust my life with. So it's not like just try to like identify who are clowns, you know, like a lot of these conservatives that get put up to run for like some office in the Republican Party are total fucking clowns. You need real, you know, real N-words, you know, they're out there, you know? Again, not to be that guy. And not to like, well, this is, but like Nick's security guy, well, at least one of them is black, so it's not like, and Ye too, you know? They're all good friends. But I think what trips up a lot of black guys in general is I do think that they have a harder time with some of their vices. And that can trip anybody up. You know? I do think that's real. But Doyle, Tatum. Yeah, Jason Whitlock was who I was thinking of. But yeah, Tatum's another example of just like a jester. You know, because conservatives do the same thing they accuse the left of doing. When it comes to like finding their DEI hire. Look, we found a based black guy. And look, a lot of these guys are not principled. They're just another stooge like John Doyle, but black, you know? That's like the Republican Party values that because they want to prove they're not racist or whatever. So not exactly cream of the crop. Anyway. Fishboy became a hedge fund manager in his 20s. This gives me Vivek / Vance Plant vibes. Yeah, again, like I don't like his background. There's a lot of suspect things there. Again, his glazing of Barry Weiss, not even a year ago, literally not even a year ago, is very suspect. So it's like, maybe he did have a revelation, but then he should just lurk more because you don't know what you're talking about. If you just went from glazing Barry Weiss to now you're putting on the NJF hat, it's like, what level of understanding can you realistically have of politics in a situation? So it's like, pick your poison. Are you a bad actor or are you stupid? And I don't think he's a dumb guy. Doesn't strike me as that. So that's why I'm more suspicious of him as some kind of op. Anyway. The problem is that we have no one old enough to run yet. Why did that send 3 times? No, look, there are based millennials out there. They're just not many. Same thing with like, they're based Gen Xers. That's true. I would agree that, yeah, like the bulk of the movement are too young. And in many ways, like in many ways, they don't have institutional power. They don't have enough of a reputation. You know, they don't have enough wealth, or they're just straight up too young to run for certain offices. So, yeah, there's some truth there, but no, there are base Gen Xers, there are base millennials out there too. It's just tough. It's you do stick your neck out. Like if you run for office, it's like, okay, especially anything remotely America first, your whole life is going to get turned upside down, you know? So it is a big commitment, and you have to also be committed to like actually, you know, conducting statecraft, actually governing, you know? And that's like, you have to actually like want the job too, or be competent at the job. So that's a whole nother thing, you know? Elite human capital is what we need at the end of the day. And you look, many of the faults with the Trump admin is that they have goobers in charge. They have goobers and throughout the cabinet, and it's just, so yeah. The problem is we can't win on the current system. There really isn't a political solution to modernity. Well, don't blackpill. There is a political solution because things are changing. No, like, there is a political solution. 100% there's a political solution. It's just, it's going to take a lot of work, and it might take longer than we're really willing to. But we have to be willing to do things like not vote. You know what I mean? A lot of people folded like fucking lawn chairs last election cycle. People who should know better. People who are super tight with Nick that should know better folded and voted for Trump. And it's like, okay, if you're gonna lose to like fucking memes, if you're gonna lose, like, if you're gonna get convinced by memes and like pressure like that, then yeah, we're not gonna win. You just have to lock the fuck in and be serious. And you have to be willing to not, like, least of all, you should be willing to not vote if that's what's required of you. You can't get swept up by like the sentiment of the moment, you know? So, lock the fuck in. The last candidate AF endorsed was MTG, no? It might have been Gosar. So, but, you know, they served their purpose. At that point in time, I mean, AF was much more in its infancy. Now it's like a different story. Like, now Nick has so much more weight. He has broken into the mainstream. So it's at the point where he has much more leverage, and a lot of these political aspirants will have to acquiesce to his platform and his demands. Whereas previously Nick used these people to legitimize his movement. Now it's like people need to, I don't want to say use, but acquiesce to Nick to legitimize themselves as political candidates. Does that make sense? It's a different landscape than it was 4 years ago. It's very different. So now it's like everybody knows Nick is the leader of the right wing. Everybody. Even people that don't want to admit that are coping about it. So Groyper curse is real, man. I don't think we got that far before she threw us under the bus. I think we endorsed, yeah, Gosar we endorsed, yeah. Ben Carson, my number one black guy. I like Ben Carson a lot. I have a lot of respect for him. I know he's like, I forgot, like, he's some kind of Protestant, I think. He's probably pro-Israel. But he always struck me as a man of great integrity. And the way he spoke at the RNC, like, he was one of the few that actually invoked the name Jesus Christ. And he should have been the VP pick, I think. I think he was the best out of all of the potential options at the time. But he struck me as a much more genuine person than somebody like J.D. Vance. He's very intelligent and articulate, too. I mean, he's a world-renowned neurosurgeon. Like, that's one of the smartest people in that room. So, as far as, like, pure intellect goes, yeah. I think he would have been a better pick. But who knows? Who knows? Isn't part of Canada trying to become part of the US too? I think I heard something about that. Oh yeah, Alberta. We'll see. At this point, man, it is like Canada should just be part of the US. What are they doing? Why would you not want to be a part of the US at this point? You guys already speak English. There's a lot of Indians there. That's going to be a problem, but it's a solvable problem. It's a solvable problem. But I do think that is, and I think Nick brought this up. It is true. Like two of the largest importers of crude oil are Canada and Mexico. So down the line, if we were to try to increase imports of crude oil from Venezuela, well, that would be one way to leverage that against Canada and Mexico, get them to acquiesce to our demands. But again, I think the primary benefit of that was the message it sent, that we're capable of this and we could do it to you. So Cuba, I'm sure they're having second thoughts now they find themselves isolated. Dude, yes, I want to continue watching. So annoying. No. Danielle Smith, the premier Alberto is cagey. I don't know which side she is on. The referendum on independence is off to a great start, though. Interesting. I haven't followed that whatsoever. What's going on in Canada? I don't really care too much, but if they become part of the US, that'd be pretty cool. Most Gen X is trash. I should know. Yeah, I feel like, nah, Gen X is not as bad as Boomers. Boomers are way worse. Gen X are kind of based, actually. They're just kind of degenerate, you know? That's like the 80s generation, you know? So. Yeah, they're compared to Boomers. And I think compared to Boomers and Millennials, I think Gen X are more based. Millennials are pretty cooked. But you know, there's good Millennials out there. Bears repeating. The alternative is Joel Davis. I don't think we want to go that route. Nick has a scalp joke. Joe Cannon got Tucker Carlson big mad. It did. Do I travel? From time to time, yes. I've done a good amount of traveling in my life. What was I gonna say? Yeah. And again, that's one of the reasons why they're talking about Nick, and in some instances they're talking to Nick. Like they've conceded that they have to engage with him to some degree because his power level has grown immensely. They can no longer ignore him. Renee Good was a millennial, true. Richard Spencer is Gen X. I thought he was like late millennial. He was like 40 something, right? I think he's millennial. I think he's... Isn't he? Somebody could fact check that. Plus, when you... Even if he's close, it can go either way. Like, if you exist, like, on, like, the fringe of either generation, it can go either way, you know? Like Zillennials, you feel me? It's not a perfect science. Wait, is this fucking real? Germany to deploy troops to Greenland as early as this week. British officials met with their counterparts from... Really? President Trump has ordered the U.S. military to draft... How did I miss this? Oh, because this was yesterday, right? Yeah, this was yesterday. President Trump has ordered the U.S. military to draft invasion plans for Greenland. However, senior military officials say it would be illegal to lack... Who cares? Congressional support. The most aggressive push is coming from the hardline advisors. Oh, well, we already knew that they were drafting plans. Dude, they already have plans for, like, every country. It's, like, part of contingency. Well, the only difference is that he's making it public. This is brinksmanship. This is the art of the deal. You have to display that you're willing to invade a country, because then everything else seems more reasonable. If you're about to invade Greenland, right, and, you know, effectively renege on your NATO commitments, that makes everything else seem reasonable in comparison. So you want to buy Greenland? That seems much more reasonable when you're walked back from putting boots on the ground in Greenland, you know? The generals think Trump's Greenland plan is crazy and illegal, so they are trying to deflect him with other major military operations elsewhere around the world. It's like it's like the 5-year-old. Oh, elsewhere, like what? What, in the Middle East? Look, I would take an invasion of Greenland over an invasion of Iran any day of the week. Could a North American Union happen? I think it could, but there would still be migration rules. What do you mean by that? Like what, like the EU? We don't have to like call it like a union like that. It would just be they're in our sphere of influence to do what we say. It's about simple as that. We just have regimes in all these countries that like America and do whatever we want. Like, you don't have to make it official like that per se. Speaker is wrong. Okay, well, look. I never said definitively that I thought. Okay, man. Richard Bertrand Spencer is technically a Generation X member, though he sits right on the cusp between Gen X and the millennial generation. What's the cutoff? Mailing of 1978. What's the cutoff for Gen X millennial? Okay, all right. Whatever, man. Anyway, where were we? Yeah. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Yeah, I think this is all part of the brinksmanship. Off topic, but what do I think of Apple adopting Google AI services? Google is going to take over. I think it's more so Apple just like really screwed the pooch and missed the AI brain. And so they didn't really have the tech. So I don't think it's like anything too crazy. I think they just screwed up and didn't properly allocate resources to this when they should have like 15 years ago. That's what I think it's more so about. NATO can go to war. Greece and Turkey went to war over Cyprus. Trump has precedents. Yeah. I mean, it can. But does that not defeat the whole purpose of a military defensive alliance? I mean, if we're talking about legality, but ultimately we don't care about legality. So, Gen X is 65 to 1980. Hmm. $1980 is still... Wait, that can't be... That... It's only 15 years. I thought they were 20. I thought they were 20-year periods, not 15. Oh, whatever. U.S. Senate rejects a draft resolution that would prevent Trump from conducting another military operation in Venezuela without the approval of Congress. Of course they did. The U.S. calls for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council on the situation in Iran. Iran is extending their no-fly zone. Yeah, maybe by the end of the week we could see something. Who knows? I do think it's unlikely we'll see anything without a major naval presence. So. You'd rather be a boomer? Rather be a boomer, huh? Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to live through the golden age of America if you're a boomer. And then you get to die before it all comes apart, you know? What a deal. Yeah, being a boomer is probably pretty sick. Unless you're like super red pilled, then you just watched. Unless you're like super base and red pilled, and you just watch the country make all of the like the wrong decisions, you know, and just like collapse in your lifetime. Yeah, I guess that would kind of suck. But you could just be ignorant because you've got like, you know, you're rich. You know, if you're a boomer and you weren't like well off, like that's probably fucked up somewhere along the way. Wait, what? Am I not getting notifications? What the hell? What is this? Charlie knew what was coming and vehemently opposed it. That's why they had to get rid of him. Dude, Jimmy Dore is a conspiracy theorist. I clicked on his coverage of the Kirk assassination a little bit. Back when Nick was supposed to do a collab with him. And he was like giving a lot of credence to like the palm pistol theory and like some other theories. I'm like, oh man. We got libtard conspiracy theorists too. That's why they had to get rid of him. He was in the way and he wouldn't take their money anymore. The people currently running TPUSA are Zionists, frauds, and infiltrators. Why did you post the poll and not his actual position on an Iranian revolution? Kirk defended Trump's first strike on Iran, and he would be supporting a second strike too. Yeah, so true. Like, dude, it is so mind-boggling how they are gaslighting people in real time. As if, like, Charlie Kirk wasn't the biggest Israel Zionist cocksucker in the entire game. He was number one. He was doing Olympic level tricks on it. It was insane. It was fucking insane. That was his whole claim to fame. That was like the idea he wasn't going along with it. He was vehemently like. It's like, did people forget? Do people have that short attention spans and memories? Like, or maybe they just never really understood to begin with. I don't know, but it's so bizarre. Like a couple of leaked messages where he expresses some doubts about a specific Jewish donor, that somehow trumps all his mountain of deriding, of Israel deriding that he did throughout his entire career. Just one moment of frustration over you know, a Jewish donor cutting back on the donations because it wasn't an election year anymore. That somehow completely negates the years of Glock 9000 cocksucking that he did for Israel. Just for the love of the game and the money too. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. The gaslighting is insane. Jimmy Dore lacks depth. There is a limit to what he can talk about. You like Dore though? Well, he's like kind of like this old school, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he seems like this old school. What is he, like an old like union guy? You know, I mean, he's from Chicago. He's Irish. I think he's Irish, right? Like that's like he's like an old school kind of American. I mean, I don't have a problem with his story, but get a grip, man. Get a grip on reality. Jimmy Dore is part of Generation X, vindicated again. And yet he is by far the most base on the left right now. Speaks volumes. I guess, yeah. But he's still on the left. You feel me? He's still not on our side. Supposedly. At least ostensibly. And look, maybe we could put some of that, you know, aside. For the sake of the country and what really matters. It's not... We can have certain disagreements about things with people on the left, but still find common ground on things that really matter. You know, like maybe somebody is a little more left, like socialist or whatever, economically. But if they still put America first, and they still see the problem with mass immigration and the problem with, you know, these wars for Israel, for example, then that difference is, you know, that's one we can solve. So, but anyway, Charlie Kirk is the white George Floyd. He achieves. Yes, everyone forgot he is as slimy as his wife, TPUSA, and all his donors. Yeah, well said. Well said. Well said, Hippo. Yeah, that is true. He is. There are a lot of parallels between him and George Floyd. I mean, bro, it's like, how can you like call like Pelosi, all of these like left wingers, you know, Jacob Frey, he's crying at the George Floyd funeral service. They're all taking the knee and shit. They're putting on the African, whatever the fuck, whatever you call that thing, the garment. And they're putting up the fist and shit. All this performative bullshit. Yet we're not going to call out the same thing when Erica Kirk, you know, struts out on fucking stage with her booty cheeks imprinted in her tight pants, her tight leather pants, and the pyrotechnics popping off. And she has to remember she has to cry. She's sad. Remember, she's sad. Bitch. Are we serious right now? Yeah, so, you know, you have to if anything, if you have to be principled and call out the right for this. But, like, these people are not on our side. They never were. Never forget that conservatives fenced us off from the conversation for years. So they're not on our side. Really. They're just, in some ways, ideologically closer to us. But it doesn't really matter insofar as they're gatekeepers. But I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. Surprise, surprise, there's grifters on both sides. Who would have thought? Yeah, the one uninitiated viewer watching is mind blown. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the one person who doesn't. Yeah, like, but I don't know, man. I say that, but look at how many people watch Nick's show. A lot of people, frankly, that like watch, not even like it's just Nick's show, but just as an example, that watch his show like for years and still like don't get it. In some way, shape, just don't fucking get it, you know? I don't know. Some people will never get it. Some people, here's a red pill. Some people aren't built for this. You know, some people aren't built for politics or for thinking even. They're meant to work the minds. The minds, they yearn for the minds. They don't even realize it. And, you know, this kind of stuff just goes over their head. God bless them, but it's just... the IQ gate is real. So... and neocons are controlled opposition anyway. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Neocon means Zionist. I didn't know that. I didn't know that before. You're telling me now for the first time. Yeah. Yeah, David Packman. Brother. Look at the eye placement. Narrow eyes. That's a sign. Right? Eyes that are too close together, I mean. That's advanced noticing. Maybe guys, I guess it's kind of a slow news day. A lot of rumblings, but nothing actually breaking, you know? As soon as Nick comes back, it's like things kind of start to slow down a bit. A lot of rumblings, a lot of talk about things. Maybe something will happen. But we're just waiting for something to actually happen. Daring today, are we? I don't know if you guys saw this.
Yet for whatever reason, when it comes to anti-Semitism, when someone commits an anti-Semitic act, we don't send them to jail. Instead, we get the ADL to say, let's bring them to a Holocaust museum, which A, gives them pretty bad ideas, and B, doesn't solve anything about the fundamental issue that they violated the law. So the way we solve anti-Semitism is pretty goddamn simple, and I'm really
Don't take the Lord's name in vain. I thought you were supposed to be a religious man. You got the kippah on. Come on now. I thought,
besides myself,
you know,
that we don't push for this with all the major Jewish organizations.
that was, what was it, Judeo-Christian?
When someone commits a crime, stop sending them on El Al flights. That will make them more anti-Semitic, I guarantee it. Send their ass to jail. It's not complicated. Yet for whatever reason, when it comes to anti-Semitism, when
they just can't help themselves, man.
someone commits an anti-Semitic act, we don't send them to jail. Instead, we get the ADL to say, let's bring them to a Holocaust museum, which A, gives them pretty bad ideas, and B, doesn't solve anything about the fundamental issue that they violated the law. So the way we solve anti-Semitism is pretty goddamn simple, and I'm really besides myself that we don't push for this with all the major Jewish organizations. When someone commits a crime, stop sending them on El Al flights. That will make...
It's like, okay, what crime are you talking about specifically? Because he seems to be conflating anti-Semitism and a crime. But what specifically, it's like, okay, then what's the bigger problem? That they're committing a crime? Like, okay, if they commit arson, for example, what's the bigger problem? Like, if they burn down a synagogue, what's the bigger issue? The anti-Semitism part or the fact that they committed arson? Like, you tell me. So the fact that he leads with anti-Semitism, and he seems to be conflating any anti-Semitism with specific crimes, it really makes you wonder, what is he talking about here? What are you talking about, Mr. Kestenbaum? I saw a clip that precedes this clip. I like how he piggybacked on the racism too. You know, he tried to piggyback off of like black grievance. You know, very typical. But it's like, be a little more specific here, Mr. Kestenbaum. So, of course, PragerU is, of course, running cover for, Travis Kestenbaum, like a career Democrat, saying, he says people who break law should be punished. Illegal acts, not dumb and evil words or views. It's like, well, doesn't that go without saying? But he specifically includes anti-Semitism in this. He's prefacing all of it with anti-Semitism. Is there any self-awareness with these people? Trent Horn called it a sin as well, Hornstein. Yeah, it's like, look, they will find any specific way to tie it together with their specific, like, any way possible, they can tie it to their specific ethnic grievance, their specific ethnic interests. Like, they will conflate, like, being cruel to people with why you shouldn't be anti-Semitic. Like, yeah, like, the Bible says not to be cruel to people. I know, it's a crazy thing. And they'll conflate that to a specific, like that's very vague, actually. Like, the anti-Semitism is a specific term, but it has very vague interpretations. So you can't be anti-Semitic because that's not biblical, but what does anti-Semitism even mean? So they're conflating cruelty, treating people unjustly, which the Bible tells you not to do, with anti-Semitism. But anti-Semitism can be any number of things. It could be as simple as, and this is not my definition, you can look at the ADL, as criticizing Israel, or the state of Israel, the Jewish state of Israel, or questioning its right to exist. That can be seen as anti-Semitic. Or any criticism. Is any criticism now anti-Semitic, which is by this pretzel logic somehow treating people unjustly? But we're also supposed to hold people accountable, are we not? And so if they're doing bad things as a collective, Jews, and we want to set the record straight, we want to correct that, and we call that out, that's anti-Semitic. And so you follow the train of logic, and it leads you back to this justification why you can't call Jews out for bad behavior. And it's just totally... look, at the very best, they're taking a lot of liberties with the interpretation. At worst, it's total manipulation. Total manipulation. Because if you follow that logic, can we call out anybody for anything then? But then they say, well, you only have to deal with individuals. Well, people don't operate just as individuals. They clearly don't. People don't talk as if they're just individuals. Just listen to how Jews speak. Listen to Shabbos Kestimel. He's talking about anti-Semitism. That concerns the collective. Black people talk about, slavery and Jim Crow, and they're concerned with the collective. So clearly people don't operate just on an individual basis. So very weaselly, what they're doing is very weaselly. Oh no, we're not talking about vague anti-Semitism, but specific crimes. What happens if then they make any anti-Semitism a crime? Well, technically that their statement is still true, is it not? It's just, unbelievable what they do. Very sneaky, very, very, very crafty. Do I ever listen to the Mark Levin show? Every once in a while. I listened to it quite a bit growing up. How does a speaker living in Chicago without a kente cloth? Kente cloth, is that what it's called? I don't know. Maybe I should get one of those, huh? Go hit up like, I don't know. David Pakman has a very punchable face. Kevin D. Roberts of Heritage Foundation is another one that is punchable. He really is sucking the moose off today. I don't know what he said today, but is pure bidet pilled? Yeah, you gotta have a clean. Yeah, gotta have a clean ass. It's the 21st century. We have the technology. There's no excuse. He uses his. Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, after I say my Muslim prayer, I wipe my ass with my hand. Muslims don't even do that. That's Indian. Indians do that shit. Yeah, I praise Vishnu, then I wipe my ass with my fingers. That's so fucking gross. That's so fucking disgusting. Ugh. We're going to have to repeal the First Amendment to fight anti-Semitism. Yeah, there are a number of Jews that are calling for that. I've seen that. Of course. Of course they are. Anti-whiteism is good, but anti-Semitism is always bad. Yeah, it's almost like they're inconsistent. That doesn't sound very fair. I want to see what half of him is going to come through. Whoa, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Trent Hornstein talked about that. Zero. Imam. My third grade teacher was Jewish, and her name was Miss Kestenbaum. I remember her as being the worst teacher I ever had. Coincidence? I think not. When Jews promote anti-whiteism, that's good. They are fighting racism. Ah, yes. Very astute observation. I don't blame the moos. I'm more against our traitors like Matt Walsh, Knowles, Frad, Matt Frad, Kevin Roberts, and Trump. Yeah, no, the traitors are way worse. They're doing it to their own people. It's sort of like these Somalians in a sense. Like, it's kind of in their nature. Like, what did you expect? Allow people to be the exception to the rule, but you still have to acknowledge and adhere to the rule. You know what I mean? So it is like, what did you expect bringing a bunch of people from Somalia here? Or India? So it is the people that are opening the gates and going along with it or running cover that you should resent far more than you ever could. The people who are doing like the grunt level fraud. It's the traitors that are the worst, man. It's the traitors that are far worse, they're far more damaging. Like, how could you do this to your own people? That's just insane. The Semites have never done anything wrong. From a certain point of view. W. Owen Schroyer. Oh, hey, speak of the devil. I'm talking about. Oh no, this is somebody else. Sorry, different bald guy.
2,000 years of history,
I can't listen to this fucking...
of Christian history, have been horrible to the Jewish people.
Okay, a side note, dude, I cannot stand this, like, performative, like, wavering voice. The Jews! Stop. Can we not fucking cry every time we talk about hardship? Can we not? Like, stop with the crocodile like, please. Just stop with the tears, man. I just really have grown to resent that so much. Seriously. Not even just because it's performative, but because it's some pussy shit. It's some bitch-ass pussy shit. Stop. Stop fucking crying. Are you not a man? I mean, look, you're bald. You're like a deformed subhuman. But are you not a white man? Stop crying.
Unspeakable atrocities. Unspeakable horrors.
Shut the fuck up. Ugh. This mawkish bullshit. Get it away from me. Enough. Such a pussy. That offends me more than whatever Zionist, like, heresy he's saying. Just the way he's delivering it is pissing me off more than what he's actually saying. At this point, I couldn't care less. Like, dude, just stop crying into the mic, bro. Go get bro a mic. Fuck, man. Give him a tampon. Jeez. Enough. Disgusting. New pew pew incident? Just now? Another? Ben Shapiro should take over a Turning Point USA. The biggest victims get to be the biggest bullies. Well, he wanted to. At least ostensibly, it looked like he wanted to assume that position, but... Check rerum, YouTube censoring comments. Oh man, this is breaking, huh? Breaking. ICE agents shot a person in the leg in North Minneapolis after an individual reportedly swung a shovel at them while they were trying to make contact. Based. Are they going to start the GoFundMe for this guy too? Look, man. I can't wait to see body cam footage of this. It's insane how people will just, like, defend. It's insane how you could have the most open and shut case of, like, self-defense, and, like, these, like, brain-raped libtards will still find a way to defend, like, the aggressor. It's insane. It's insane, dude. It's like, how, like, they can't, some of these people cannot, they cannot concede anything. No justification. Like, really? No police shooting has ever been justified? People, I don't even. You see a video that cop that got shot by a shotgun with dragon breath shells? Now, is that new? That sounds painful. That sounds painful, but that's probably better than getting shot by, like, you know, a slug or buckshot. Unless the dragon's breath is also like buckshot. I don't know. Let's see. But other options such as a cyber attack or a strike against Iran's domestic security apparatus, which is using lethal force against protesters, were more likely, the officials have said. Any attack is at least several days away and could prompt a vigorous retaliation from Iran. Yeah, I do think they're telling the truth as far as the days away, because they have no navy in the region. U.S. intelligence has assessed that if the United States were to conduct a military strike against Iran, Tehran would retaliate by again attacking military bases in the region, according to U.S. officials briefed on the intelligence. American spy agencies believe that in addition to the base in Qatar, Iran could possibly strike at U.S. forces stationed at bases in Syria and Iraq, one of those officials said, according to the New York Times. Well, we'll see what happens. False flag, maybe? Kevin Roberts is Catholic? Oh, it's even worse. I heard that the ICE officer that was struck by Renee Good automobile had internal bleeding. Yeah, that's what he said. Apparently. So look, it's just, I think we're all on the same page here. Like, that bitch kind of had it coming. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing using your vehicle as a deadly weapon like that? What the fuck did you expect? So, he was inside a squad SUV, so it could have been way worse. What? Oh, the cop that got shot? Yeah, I've never seen anybody actually use those Dragon Breath shotgun shells on a person before. Yeah, I think they're only for like Call of Duty and like YouTube videos, you know? Ooh, it's fire. Incendiary. Like, for it to be effective, it would have to still do damage on its own. Like, for example, like certain bullets or like tank shells have incendiary components, but typically they pair that with like armor piercing. In like there's armor piercing, high explosive incendiary rounds, for example. Because you need to first penetrate armor, and then it can explode, make a hole, and then you have incendiary material that fills that hole. So, I know it's like a completely different application, but so I can't imagine like it would be too like Dragon's Breath just as like birdshot would be very damaging. It would probably hurt like a bitch, but called a shape charge. No, literally, it's in like the name of these shells are armor piercing high explosive armor piercing incendiary round. So, like shape charge is kind of a different thing. Like certain RPG shells are like that, or not shells, rockets are like that, where they have this elongated kind of larger explosive element to it, and the idea is you want to pierce and then detonate inside. So the shape matters, but some shells, like even like they're 50 cal bullets that are high explosive armor piercing incendiary rounds, and they look like a normal round. So liquefied copper, if you recall correctly, shape charge in RPG. I don't remember exactly what they make it out of, but yeah, that was a pretty big development. Yeah. Is this D Live? Yeah. Damn, bro. Damn. Our Black Queen speaks?
People ask me why I became based and how, and honestly, there is no how. It's just built up. And it built up from the time when I was in middle school, and I've told this all before. I was obsessed with Japanese culture, and I feel like Japanese culture is what radicalized me about my views today. So I'll tell.
Which is funny because a lot of black people are obsessed with Japanese culture. You would think, I don't know.
I was in this, I was in the anime and all that Vocaloid stuff. Hatsune Miku, she was my life. Shout out to her. I was indulged in Japanese culture. I would study it. I studied the language and all that.
She's a weeaboo, bro. Like most black people are into anime. Like seriously, it's captured black. Bro, you got fucking, even in Africa, you got like people from the fucking bush wearing Goku shirts. I'm not making that up. Like seriously, it's like a worldwide phenomenon, but especially taking a hold on black people.
Stuff.
This woman is a psyop. Why do you say that?
But I really observed Japanese.
Can't we just enjoy this for what it is? Don't ruin this. Don't ruin this for me.
And I took inspo from them. They were quiet, nice, polite, and honest people. And I would question my own people. I would be like, why don't my people act like them? Why don't my people act like the Japanese? Quiet, not loud, family-oriented. They aren't. Niggers aren't. Throughout the years, I continued to ask myself,
Godzilla fix.
why are my people like this? Why aren't they like the Japanese? Will they ever be like the Japanese? And that's just something that really got me thinking. And then one day I just snapped. I was tired. That's how it is for a lot of other people. They just snap. People are getting tired of the niggerness. We're getting tired. Everybody is. It doesn't matter the race. Everybody. And they all have a right to. Self is the problem, and I'm talking to black people and niggers. If you don't see yourself as the problem, society has been screaming at you, showing you statistics and everything. If you don't see yourself as the problem, it's just never going to get better for you guys, and it's just going to get worse.
Pretty based. Is she AI? I don't think so. She's got the the eyelashes. She's got. But no, I don't think she's AI. I know people in Latin America go crazy for Dragon Ball. Look, I'm not a weeb by any means, but I acknowledge that anime is a worldwide phenomenon. Literally. I talk to Europeans that love anime, dude. It's just, and I'm not like a big anime head. Honestly, like some anime, it's kind of like, it's almost like, how would I describe it? It's almost like emotion porn in a sense. A lot of people consume too much anime, and they develop really bad like assumptions on how like certain relationships function in reality. For example, notice how it's like a trope in so many anime that the protagonist always has, like, from day one, for no reason whatsoever other than he's the protagonist, has like a bad bitch that's immediately ride or die through thick and thin. Immediately ride or die. This is true for so many anime. They just have a bad bitch that's like obsessed with him, ride or die. Like that's true for like Naruto. That's true for like Attack on. I'm not huge in anime, so that's huge for like Attack on Titan. That's true for My Hero Academia. And so many more, I'm sure. And it's like, that's not how women work. That's not, you don't just show up and have like your state, like your state approved, state sponsored anime waifu that's going to like take a bullet for you. That is so unrealistic. And I think a lot of guys, frankly, that use this as like a cope, especially throughout like their developmental years, develop a really warped sense of like women, just straight up. And there's like, I'm trying to be fair here. There are like cool things about anime, of course. Like you watch enough anime, it can hype you up. It can get you to believe in yourself or whatever. But it is just like not, it's like a comfort, like guilty pleasure, in the same way like women will like sometimes watch these like romance shows and shit. It's a fantasy. And so for that reason it's not really based. But people take anime too seriously. Like it's, at the end of the day, it's just not real. But people are products of what they consume, so. Have I been following Dan Bongino? Not too closely. I mean, the guy's a clown. She has dethroned Candace as queen. Went full Mongo off, and true. Yeah. That's what did it. A lot of guys might have been on the fence, A lot of guys in AF are probably like, well, we're racist, right, guys? But then she dropped the anime lore and they folded. Oh, I get jungle fever when I see Ray, but I remember no e-girls. Yeah, no e-girls. You can't, even if they're beautiful black queens, you know? No e-girls. That's a rule. That's race blind. Hey, that's race blind. So, Grant Wiggins was right. What was he right about? They say Spy Family is a psyop. Spy Family. What a Spy Family? I don't know if I know what that is. But yeah. So, you know, I'm not a weeb, but I'm not like a full-on anime hater. There are anime I appreciate. It's a medium. So like anything, you're gonna have good shows and you're gonna have some shit shows. You're gonna have some shows that are overhyped. And some people, it's just like they'll just eat anything up because it's anime, you know. It's from Japan. It's like doesn't just because it's from Japan doesn't mean it's based. Or not even that it has to be based, but that it's like quality, you know? So like, yeah. Dude, holy shit. Stop pausing my fucking videos, man. Anyway. Structure things for rape victims.
I don't know if life was exactly what I wished.
Anybody, well, she gonna drop a fucking nip?
But somehow.
She gonna drop a nip in the trailer like that? Another Black Queen? Can we watch this?
For the first time.
Well, hang on, it is a trailer. I've gotten fucking my shit taken down for watching trailers before. I guess I should be careful. You're a D1 anime hater? Yeah. You like Ghost in the Shell? That's about it. Ghost in the Shell is pretty goated. Yeah. It's true, like, and again, it's almost like you hate weebs more than you hate anime, right? It's like, just by osmosis, like, by the transitive property, you don't want to be associated with that, right? Because a lot of weebs are just, like, kind of disgusting freaks. You know? Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing. But I don't know. You just shouldn't make shit your whole personality. Like, and that's true for anything. Some people, it's like they make anime their whole personality. It's all they talk about. It's all they want to talk about. They, like, I'm just like Ray. Ray is so me. Ray is number one. Asuka, we all hate Asuka. You know, it's like those kinds of people. It's like weed heads that make getting high and smoking weed their whole personality. Even people who make like being based their whole personality, like they fall like, yeah, hey, in our own camp, we've got people like that too, where all they can do is like talk about, you know, the Jews. It's like, dude, come on, are you a real human being or are you just like a caricature? So it's true for anything, like but I think the hobby shit is just like, are you an interesting, well-rounded person with depth, or are you just like, I hate to use this term, but like a consumer. Like you just consume stuff, whether it's on the internet, whether it's you buying stuff, you watch shows, you're just consuming, and that shapes who you are. And that's all you are. You're just surface level. Scary. The weebs ruin everything. Yeah, well. Okay, my real hatred is toward weebs. I was misguided. Yeah. Like I said, there's an anime I appreciate. Like Ghost in the Shell. Yeah. Look, I even like Naruto. I watched Naruto growing up. Or like Dragon Ball Z. Love Dragon Ball Z growing up. Cowboy Bebop. I don't even know if I finished Cowboy Bebop. You know. It's a vibe. Look, it's a vibe. It's an aesthetic. And I think the aesthetic is cool. Like the cyberpunk aesthetic, you have to thank anime for. You know? That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But whatever. Brent went full weeb. Well, he was living in... Is he still in South Korea? Danny Phantom was a good one. Well, well, that's Western, though. That's a cartoon, you know? I mean, they're technically both cartoons, but when we talk anime, I guess it's sort of assumed we're talking about something from Japan, right? Or the East. It's all a ripoff of Blade Runner. I think even Blade Runner was inspired by Japan, by Japanese culture. You even look at, like, you go back to Blade Runner and you watch it, like, a lot of stuff is in Japanese. And part of the time, like in the 70s, they thought that Japan was going to take off. That there was a real belief that Japan would be much more powerful than it turned out being. It was either going to be like Japan or China. And thought Japan would, like, invade the West culturally and economically. Like, these Japanese corporations would just take over. It was largely unfounded, but the Blade Runner was very much inspired by Japanese culture. So, at least aesthetically. So.
Time.
Anybody watch Euphoria? Is this a good show?
I was beginning to have faith.
If I full screen this, is that going to increase my chances of getting, like, DMCA or something?
Hello, Rue. You owe me money.
I don't know who these people are. Never watched a show in my life.
You know,
Okay.
I'm of the belief that certain people are cursed.
I work all day.
Can I watch this? Can I watch this on stream? Like, seriously.
My bride-to-be is spread eagles on the internet.
He's marrying this hoe?
Just making content.
I don't.
Oh, dude, can you fucking imagine? Bro, can you imagine? It's just one big cautionary tale. Can you imagine you're a Chad? You're this guy, right? You're this guy. And you're married. Ah, dude, can you fucking imagine? This guy's like, what, 6 foot? He's like 6 foot something, right? And you marry an OnlyFans thought? That is like... Talk about just, you're just throwing at that point. You're hard throwing, you're inting. You're honestly inting life at that point. Anything HBO is the third rail. Well, yeah, I mean, HBO was like one of the first ones to push like a lot of the degenerate stuff on like, on television. Like real degenerate stuff. Like, it started with Sopranos. That was like a big controversy. Oh, it's nudity? They circumvented that by not being cable. Right? By having a subscription service. Brant is back. He went to the New York Young Republican Club gala that denied Nick. Huh. I don't know what he's up to. I don't follow Brant like that.
He is spread eagles on the internet.
I was just making content.
I don't pretend to know why, but there's got to be something wrong with them.
Are you seeing anyone? No. You hear about Jules?
It's not that weird. Every girl I meet is a sugar baby.
Yeah, but you don't do it. No, I'm not a fucking hooker.
Wherever these unlucky folk go, there's a cascade of trouble.
You walk up into my house, dance with my girls, and you don't even introduce yourself.
Home, motherfucker!
It's a new chapter, all right? You gotta have faith.
Your girl, Rue, I take her.
Rue belongs to us.
The problem is,
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Deal with the devil. There's no turning back.
Tell me something. You believe in God?
Yeah.
Let's see if he believes in you.
Imagine your family finds out you married an online bop. Dude, it's just over, man. It's over for you. You have to kill yourself in Minecraft, you know? Like, there's no... Like, seriously, dude. Like, how do you come back from that? And Lordy is 6'5". Bro's living life on easy mode. Talk about, like, Chad. So, imagine you're a 6'5" Chad and you marry an online whore. Like, how? How do you throw that hard? How do you fumble that badly? You did like the Righteous Gemstones? Okay, I did watch a few episodes of that. That was pretty funny. Look, sometimes slop can be good. Sometimes, or not good, but you can enjoy slop, you know? Sometimes you can have a guilty pleasure. You just need to, like, keep that to yourself. You just need to, like, not talk about that because, you know, people will assume you have bad taste. But there are shows that I've enjoyed, movies that I've enjoyed that are, like, totally fucking, like, you know, whatever. I'll give you one right now. I enjoyed Pitch Perfect. Does that make me homosexual? No. Okay. I thought that was a fun movie. It's a it's a guilty pleasure, 100%. It's 100% a guilty pleasure. There's no doubt about that. I'm not even gonna try to say or defend that whatsoever. But hey, I had fun. I had fun. That was a fun movie, okay? Whatever, man. Whatever. Whatever, man. You guys are gonna act like you don't have guilty pleasures. I know you do. Don't lie. I'm just not coping about it. I'm just being honest, you know? I guess I do have a soft spot for musicals. Musicals are cultured. It's cultured. The FBI couldn't get that out of you? Oh, come on. There's way worse shit out there. You kidding me? Look, musical, and maybe it's also because I have a background in music. Look, I don't have to defend myself to you people, okay? I don't have to defend myself. Guilty pleasure is Gold Rush on Discovery. I don't know what that is, actually. Look, everybody has a guilty pleasure. I'd love to see your Spotify playlist. I'm sure you've got some music on there you wouldn't want to share in some group chats. That's all I'm gonna say. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, you know? Look, musicals, they're aristocratic. They are sophisticated. They're white. It's part of white culture, you know? I love the musicality. Not every musical's good, but I can enjoy musicals. Oh, Claro? I think a lot of Groypers like Claro, don't they? Okay, like that, like, Birds of a Feather, which is Billie Eilish and Claro, like that. Tell me that's not a banger. That's a fucking banger. A countertenor? I'm a tenor. I wouldn't say I'm countertenor. My total range, I don't know what it is now, but it was about 4 octaves. Probably more like 3.5. But close, maybe I could probably squeeze out 4, but comfortably 3.5. So I could sing like very high falsetto. What was I? Oh yeah, Birds of a Feather. Like the what is that note in I'm totally blanking right now. Like that high note in holy shit, Bohemian Rhapsody, not a problem for me. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Birds of a Feather. I'm fully scatterbrained right now. You're telling me this isn't a banger? If you tell me this isn't a banger, you're a fucking liar, okay? I've never seen the music video. I have no idea. She's got the SSRI stare. Weird ass music video. Mid? Lies. This is a bop. This is a bop. Flying Lotus? Okay, what are the odds my stream's gonna get taken down? Generic music for the masses, most likely an industry plant. Bro, sometimes the generic music from industry plants hit. You can admit it, it's okay. You can admit it. I'm not like a Billie Eilish stan, I don't really listen to her music, but this is a banger. You know, people have been saying the same thing about music for generations. People said the same thing about rock and roll, about grunge, about metal. Develop your own opinion, you know? Just develop your own opinion. Yeah, look, there's a lot of generic music out there. The music industrial complex, but sometimes it's good. You can enjoy things, it's okay. Even if it's generic, even if it comes from a genre, you don't... That's what it means to be a free thinker. That's what it means to be a free thinker. You're right, though, you do like some girly pop songs. Yeah, look, I'm not like a big K-pop person, but like, what's that one song? What's that one song called? Fuck. Oh, Cupid. How can you listen to this and be in a bad mood? Oh, did they? I don't follow the lore. Yeah, like the Korean pop star scene is like pretty brutal. What goes on behind the scenes. Bro, if you think Floyds are bad in America, bro, South Korea's like advanced, like the situation is like DEFCON 2 over there. If we're at, DEFCON 4 or 3, they're at 2. music is mostly written by Black American producers. I don't think that's true. That just sounds unbelievable to me. Like, they definitely draw inspiration from Western music. That's more like cultural outsourcing, you know, or cultural impact. Still more K-pop. This is like the one K-pop song I know. Like, I'm not like a K-pop stan, I'm not a Billie Eilish stan. You know, sometimes though, like, you know, it just, you find something you like, you know? It doesn't have to be that deep. Now, your buddy Chris owns Stone Throw Concerts, and a lot of his hip-hop homies moved to Korea. They're ghostwriters. Interesting. Well, you just red-pilled me on that. Interesting. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine, like, you go from making, like, you're like a black producer, you go from making, like, gangsta rap drill music to K-pop? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I guess stranger things have happened. Anyway, anything new on Reroom?
Packers? Fuck the Packers! This is bear country. Fuck the Packers. Fuck the Packers!
It's pretty good. What the fuck? This, okay. Real talk, this shit like this should be fucking illegal. Also, like, dude, look at the physiognomy on this fucking guy, dude. Bruh. Looks like a thumb. This like, subhuman freak. Subhuman. Ugh. Disgusting. Disgusting. I don't know which one offends me more, the Indian flag or Jason Miller. Brant ran into South Korea this year. Yeah, I saw that. I think he was working for Ye in some capacity. I saw that. I thought that was like longer ago though. Alex Jones, if he let himself go. Look, Alex Jones got back in the gym. He hopped on the turmeric 95, and he's fucking pushing P. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Man, really revamped his physique to be less frog-like. Oh look, somebody pissed off an Indian. The Indians are pissed off.
I like being away from you because I can't stand looking at you. Yeah. You think I want to do that? You think I want to hurt you? I don't want to
hurt you. Okay, that's a good edit. That's a good edit.
I want to ask
No diss to Uncle Alex. Nah, he did let himself go, but he's back in the gym.
you about this. You know, when you talk about the confusion, and you've been open, obviously, about your support for the president. When you look at the videos of what happened, and I'm sure they're very hard for you, Timmy, to watch if you've even been able to. But the Deputy Attorney General says that the Justice Department doesn't believe that there's evidence to back a criminal investigation, right? And no, nothing about charges or anything like that, just an investigation into what happened in terms of the ICE agents' actions. But they were, according to the prosecutors resigning today, pressuring them to investigate Renee's actions and Becca, her wife's actions. How do you feel about all that?
Well, you know, I'm not blaming anybody. I mean, it's a hard situation all the way around. It's hard for the, you know, for everybody involved. I mean, the ICE agent, you know, at first I didn't see the footage where, you know, he was actually, you know, he was actually being ran. I mean, I seen the bump of the car hitting his legs. And so in a flash like that, it's hard to say how you would react. From my understanding that he had been through that before, maybe dragged or something. And so, you know, like I said, it's just a hard situation for everybody. You know, Becca, you know, she's a great person as well. I mean, you know, I don't have any enemies. I love everybody, and that's what the Bible tells us: love our neighbors as we love ourselves. But you know, I think there's some bad choices, and the word says, "For the wrath of God will come up on the children of disobedience." And you know, it's I don't blame ICE, I don't blame Rebecca, I don't blame Renee. I just wish that, you know, if we're walking the Spirit of God, I don't think she would have been there. That's the way I look at it.
So,
yeah, it's pretty based. Based Gen Xer. Based. Sounds pretty based.
For one reason, they wanted to increase the number of deaths. Why? Because President Trump has said that if there are killings, he would intervene. And they wanted to drag him.
You guys getting any physical silver? The price has gone crazy in the last month or so. Well, yeah, it's not a bad idea to own like rare metals. Gold, silver are usually pretty solid ideas. If you do buy it, I would encourage you to think about, well, what form are you buying it in? Because it can be a liability if you're gonna like have it in your house. I don't know if that's the best idea. You know, maybe open a safety deposit box at the bank or something. So, if you do buy physical silver, but not a bad idea.
Him into this conflict, and that was exactly an Israeli plot. They wanted to drag the president of the United States in this conflict, so they started to increase the number of deaths by killing ordinary people, by killing police officers, by starting a kind of fighting inside the different cities.
Mr. Foreign Minister, you're saying that these killings, these deaths are at the hands of foreign elements inside your country, not by the Iranian regime. That's not what we're being told when we get people to talk to us on the ground. The internet has been shut off, but occasionally turns back on, and we do hear from people on the ground who tell us various stories. Witnesses spoke of seeing snipers positioned on rooftops in downtown Tehran, firing into crowds of peaceful protests, turning abruptly into scenes of carnage, panic as bullets pierced through people's heads and torsos, sending bodies toppling to the ground, and an emergency room treating 19 gunshot patients in a single hour. The regime is on a killing spree, said one protester, and we've seen the video of body bags
said one protester.
Up. You were saying that all of this is because you're not in control of your country and foreign elements are killing people inside your country?
No, I'm telling you that it was a fighting between our security forces and terrorist elements who had a plan to create a big number of killings in order to provoke President Trump to enter into this conflict and start a new war against Iran. And that was exactly an Israeli plot. The footages that you mentioned have not been seen in Iran. I have to tell you that a misinformation campaign is going on at the same time.
And you're suggesting that it's Israel and Mossad acting like Iranian forces, shooting the Iranian people to make casualties to spur on the action of President Trump. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that don't believe that, Mr. Foreign Minister.
No, Mossad has already confessed that.
They may be on the ground, sir, but as far as them killing hundreds and hundreds of people to make it look like you did, it does not appear in the video that we get out.
Let the man speak. Let the man speak. Crazy. One Mossad agent, yeah, New York Times interviewed a Mossad agent, protester. I guess the price is way higher in China, and some say that is what is driving the price up, and now it's considered a strategic asset. It wouldn't be the first time that a Chinese, heavy Chinese investment into something like that drove prices insane. Same thing happened to Counter-Strike skins. The Chinese started, this is real, started investing heavily into Counter-Strike skins in, what was it, 2018, 2019? 2019, I think it was, when they first got access to the game. And drove the prices out of control. And a lot of people invest serious money into Counter-Strike skins. Like, we're talking millions of dollars. I don't really recommend people do that, but kind of like an NFT, but one that's backed up by Valve, you know? So, interesting. How Chinese choose to invest their money. Anyway, what should we look into? Nothing new on Rerum. Oh. Take an issue with, yeah, I don't think this is confirmed that the youngest victims of Epstein were 8 and 11. I think the youngest was what, like 15? I think. I haven't heard 8 and 11. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, sounds like they were just jailbait. She was 17, you sick fuck. Oh, bro. Hey, you guys want a black pill real quick? Let's check this out. What would you rather get catfished by? Or rather, what would you rather engage in? Would you rather, like, in a twist of fate, in a W? Bro, it is like, is this the solution to the simping problem in America? Indian men, if you can hear us, please save us. Is this what it's gonna take when people find out that they're doing to, like, an Indian man in India? You think that will finally burst the bubble? More of a reason to avoid women? W India? Rare Indian gooning W? That's pretty funny. That's pretty keck. That's pretty keck, man. That's... Hey, you know what? If it gets the simps to stop hoflation, if this AI revolution fueled by Indian gooning, if that puts a stop to the whole-flation, maybe it's what needs to be done. Maybe it's, hey, maybe this isn't the worst thing to happen. Just don't be the one caught with your dick in your hand, you know? Don't be the one, you know, gooning to Indian men out there, pretending to be white thoughts. And beat them, join them. Man-made horse behind your comprehension. We're here. It's arrived. Indian men in India are buying their Maseratis. They're buying their BMWs and their Ferraris. Selling AI pornography to other Indian men in the West with their high-paying tech jobs. Isn't that funny? Yeah, life finds a way. What a twist. That's crazy. Imagine the requests for Bob's and Vagine. Is this? I don't even know what the lore with this woman is. Dude, a story in 3 parts. That's crazy. I heard that Indians are even going to Russia for work these days. Yeah, Putin's letting in a million Indians. Believe it? That's for all the people that chilled for Russia as some like based country. Yeah, how based is that? Imagine you send all your young Slavic men to go fucking die in a war and they come home and they've been replaced by some Indian. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's just like, I would go fucking, how do you not go postal, man? Maybe that's not like in his best interest. You're gonna have a bunch of like veteran, battle-hardened, military-aged men that are losing their country to a bunch of Indians. That might not be the best long-term plan. So even if they're only there momentarily, it's still no good. It's still no good. Even if they really are temporary work visas, it's still no good. Because the work is subpar. So you should want nothing to do with Indian labor. Like, dude, India's PR team, like, talk about like a total fucking fumble. Like, most of people's experience with like Indians was probably like Apu from The Simpsons. I remember my dad telling me like, yeah, like Indian, they don't wash their hands over there, you know? Like when I was growing up. And now it's like everyone, even fucking libtards are like done with Indians. With how much they lie, how much fraud they're committing. And how like physically repulsive so many of them are. And it really does suck if you're like a cool Indian guy that's like hygienic and like well groomed and clean, and that's like, you know, like I could understand why you would be very, very upset, but it is what it is, you know. Like one of my like coworkers was drink some water. What's up, Gus Borowski? How's it going? USA actually doesn't need any more immigration. No, we don't. We really don't. It's really bad where I work. We're still hiring Indians. Yeah, it is really a epidemic that needs to be stopped now, because there's a real competency crisis, and like we're already feeling it. Like, it's past the point of like annoyances. Now there are like real, like, people could die due to engineering failures because of subpar H-1Bs, subpar talent that was brought in through some visa program. Like, no, it's a real problem that needs to be addressed. You know, put aside all of the, like, you know, white replacement stuff for a second. Like, this is compounding the competency crisis in this country. I mean, for fuck's sake, you see all these clips of, like, these Indian truck drivers just, like, causing 20-car pileups. Like, a family of 4 was killed by some Indian truck driver, more at 11. Like, it's like every other day it's something like that. Yeah, people are dying as a result of this. But yeah. Somalians are probably the worst. No, they're not the worst. Indians are worse. Indians are worse because they're somewhat more competent than Somalians. Okay, Nick's going live. Nick is going live. Timcast. Okay. Hey, when was the last time we saw Nick on the front page of Rumble? Has that ever happened before?
They have to say that we want to make Israel great.
Oh, hey. Like, literally, in the order that I said he would cover it. Now, I did I not say that did I not call that this is the order of, which stories he was going to cover? Whatever. But yeah. What was I talking about? Yeah, no, Indians are way worse than Somalians. Like, they both suck, but Indians are far worse. So. Make sure you take a steak or a Big Burger. I'm getting hungry. Well, that's real sad. It is that only the Chinese programmers are angry about it? Oh, what? Wait. I was watching a couple of Indian truck driver videos today. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Our roads are just like, they're turning into like highways of death and destruction. It's crazy. Some refused to talk to them. One Chinese database admin spoke up and was assigned an Indian shadow the next day. Damn, bro. That's crazy. Oh, what's really sad is that only the Chinese programmers are angry, but I see what you're saying. Yeah, man. Because they don't have the white guilt beat into them. And they have the protection of being a minority. So they have more freedom to talk on such matters like that. But no, it's true, dude. The level of nepotism is unreal. And the conniving nature, it's just... What other... Yeah. It's really bad, man. It's really, really bad. And they get in and then they just replace everybody with Indians. It's insane. I've seen it happen in real time. The ethnic tribalism is out of control, and they're incompetent, and they're very arrogant, very unpleasant, and they're dishonest. So, yeah. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. But yeah, no, you bloody. I'm out of water. Anywho. Anything new on Rerum? Bruh. Who is this fucking trailer trash? more low IQ shit, man. I'm just like so done with these people. Nick is number 1 on the Rumble leaderboard. Yeah, he really is. He's the GOAT. Give this man a fucking deal, Chris Pavlovsky. I honestly hope that, like, Kick throws a bag at Nick. Seriously. Just yoink Nick from Rumble. Seriously. Enough games. Enough fucking games. Like, Rumble is just shit, man. It's... Ugh. Lags every other fucking night. But, anyway. I'm actually gonna peace out now, then. Kenny Ko does the natty or not stuff. Oh. Sounds like a really intelligent, smart guy. Good one, I know. But it looks like he moved into political stuff. Maybe he should stick with the meathead shit, you know? Maybe he should stick with that, you know? That seems to be more his speed, more up his alley. Too many fucking people that got red pilled yesterday. They don't know shit about anything. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Nick's going live. Yeah. I'm gonna go eat something. I'm pretty hungry. So that's what I want to do. That's why I want to get out a little early so I can grab some food and then tune in. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me do my shilling real quick. Hit the like button if you haven't already. I'll know if you didn't, and I'll be very upset, so you better do it. Hit the like button. Follow the socials in the description. Leave a comment on the stream. What do you guys think? What day do you think? What day? Place your bets. When will the US intervene in Iran again? In the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Or maybe that you want it all. Yeah. Yeah, have a good one, Mr. Forge, Hippo. God bless all of you. Yeah, I'll see you guys all next time. Take it easy, and I'll see you guys in chat. Yeah, your heart goes out. Yeah, heart goes out and everything. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys. Take it easy.